Hey all, and welcome back to Fuzzy Ducksy Gaming and a new video on the channel. Just showing the progress I've made since migrating to Trade League. People have been asking me to bring out sort of an end game gearing guide, which I'm still working on because I honestly don't plan on pushing the character much further than I've got it because it does everything I want it to do. I haven't got my last two Void Stones yet because I don't want to pay for like the Maven's Writ and the Uber Elder Fragments, so I'm just going to farm them and do them as they come up because with the two Watch Stones or Void Stones that I've got, I'm easily sustaining maps. I'm getting decent drops. I'm making good currency. So I'm just going to do it really as and when they come up. So the only reason I really migrated to trade is to get some currency to do a +2 strike gloves, get myself stun immune, and then also craft a decent claw. I could have done it in SSF, but it would have took weeks to get all the bits together to do the claws and also the gloves. I'll quickly show my Atlas tree. This is a bit of a mess because I sort of rejigged it around from SSF. Essentially, I'm going map node still because I've only got 2 void stones. I'm blocking everything other than harvest and expedition. And that's what I expect on the tree, which is harvest and expedition. I've got strong boxes. I've got altars. And then I've got essences. And then the Exile nodes here. Every map I'm doing, obviously putting an Exile influence on it. I haven't gone sort of this route yet with Wrath of the Cosmos and Eldritch Gaze. Just because I've found that this is perfectly fine. I don't have huge defenses on the character, and I don't find it fun to die like 2 or 3 times a map. If I was better geared, I'd probably go for it, but this is absolutely fine. I'm making enough currency, and on top of that, I'm having a lot of fun. Harvest may seem like a strange one, but you pretty much get guaranteed every time you go into harvest 10 to 13, 15 chaos per harvest, and they're quick and easy to do. If they don't turn up in your map, no big deal. I'm also running stream of consciousness just to get more content. I want to see harvest and I want to see expedition as much as possible, and I'm putting essence on the map device for 2 chaos. I've sold an absolute ton of essences and I've still got a load. I've got several hundreds of chaos worth of life force and tons of expedition currency, and this has worked really well for me. Strong boxes are there. I don't necessarily even open them a lot of the time. They're just there for when I get strong boxes with scarabs in them for the operative ones. I've also had one of the memories. It was a Strombox one, and to be honest, they're not very good. I recorded a bit of footage for it, but it's all quite boring, and I actually cocked it up, which I will show in the footage. So the way it works is you put your memory on a map. I wasn't sure if this would be the start or end map, so I went dunes, and it went and my last map was Grave Trough. But the bosses don't really matter on it. So in the Strombox one, each time you get down the memory, your modifiers on your map get stronger, and the strong boxes increase. So what happens is in the first map, you get 3 strong boxes, but they're actually 3 lots of 3. You open one box. When it's finished, another box next to it opens automatically. When you finish that, the next one opens. And you have a 4% chance, and that increases up for it to be an operative strong box. So if you can get an operative strong box, there'll be mega money because you get 3 of them and you get loads of increased percentages and stuff. I did get one, and I clicked on it when it was magic. I just wasn't concentrating on what I was doing. Still got a decent amount of scarabs. I just really, really wish I would have rolled that strongbox properly, get loads of quantity, get some engineer's orbs on it. Just everything I can do to get that strongbox really, really juiced up. And I probably could have made an absolute mint. I forgot. The problem with them is that your Atlas passives don't do anything on these maps. So I had strongboxes, so I assume that it'll be rare and corrupted, and they're not. Most of them you come across are just normal blacksmith strongboxes. Not even worth alching them, because even if you do 3 of them, you get nothing out of them. So the money would be in the operative strong boxes. If you can get them, you're going to make a fortune off the memory. If not, it's pretty boring. You just go through, open loads of strong boxes. Your maps are slightly more juiced. Overall, it's a bit underwhelming. So that's covered that off. So let's go over the character. So I've hit 95, which is why I've started sort of throwing myself at tougher content. But even though I've only got, with my flasks up, 14k armor and 11k evasion, I haven't died today, and I've played for a good 4 or 5 hours. I've done some pretty horrible map mods and stuff, just because you obliterate everything with your lightning strike. Unless something gets close to you, you're not going to die. Bosses absolutely get rinsed with the vile lightning strike. I've done some guardians, done a couple of conquerors, and it's just going really smoothly, and I'm really, really enjoying it, which is why I don't want to pump more money into the build. I don't want to put pressure on myself to do Ubers, because I'm not that great mechanically at them, so I don't think I'll do them. I'll just get frustrated. But overall, I'm having a blast just, playing the game. Out and go pretty much. Spending 2 chaos a map on essences, and every time an expedition or harvest is in there, that's obviously loads of guaranteed money. And then the essences alone, you're walking out with a lot more, especially if you're corrupting them properly. So let's go over the gear. So the helmet I went over in the last episode, which is just rolled to get some stun avoidance on it. There is nothing special. I've got increased attack damage and reduced mana cost of skills as my implicits. The shield, again, nothing special. You could probably pick one of these up for 5 to 10 chaos. It's just to get my LE ailments in and bit of life and resistances. The boots are, again, ones that I crafted with essences to get cannot be stunned. The base was 19C for the fractured base, and then I've just spammed essences until I hit something decent. I've got chaos rares, that'll do nicely. I've rolled brittle ground only because I've run out of embers, but actually brittle ground's not too bad because I definitely don't cap crit. I'm probably like 70 to 80%. So I started rolling the other one, get increased armor from helmet and gloves. And these work now, that didn't work before. So I've got 330 and 276. So that adds a decent chunk of armor. If we go on to the gloves, I have crafted, these are the same as before, but I've pushed the strike up to +2. If you're interested to know the best way to do it, if you've already got a pair of gloves you want to do it on, I'll link a video in the description. These probably cost me about 2 divines to get from 1 to 2. So certainly much cheaper than buying them. We'll leave the claw till last. Chest piece is the same as what I was running before. Just a bog standard life resistance is chest piece. Want Gravicious craft on it. Still not got him in Syndicate. I've done 2 to 3 Katarinas. Had loads of Gravicious. Just won't drop a chest. And every time I finish a Katarina, he disappears off the board or goes to the leader. So it's been pretty frustrating. Haven't really done much with the Eldritch Implicits. I've got increased effect of non-cursorers, which is awesome. And I've just rolled increased armor. It's fine for now. I'll probably look for something like increased determination or increased anger efficiency. So the belt, this is same as I had before. Stygian Vise with just life and crafted LE damage. The regen life is quite nice. And the only thing I would say is Exalted Orbs are actually worth using now. A lot of my items had 5 mods. I'd already crafted on them and I didn't want to go meta crafting or anything like that. So the regen came from an Exalted Orb. I think I also hit an Exalted Orb on the boots, got 52 strength. That's never too bad. And then I also did it on the helmet, and I think I got something rubbish, like increased rarity or something. But overall, it's definitely worth using for the price if you don't intend to do anything else with the item that you're wearing. My jewel is fire resistance and then lots of damage to attacks. This is one, again, I exalted. I had the 3 damage mods, hit an Exalted Orb on it, got fire resistance. It's not too bad. The rings were all crafted with damage essences. I just spammed them until I hit rings that were okay. So this one's got tier 1 fire, tier 5 lightning, and it's got some elemental damage modifiers on it. I'll probably increase that at some point. This one I actually did the modifiers before I crafted it. So I've got lightning damage to attacks, accuracy, which both get boosted by that percentage, and then mana, which actually comes in handy, and then life and resist. Nothing special. So we'll come on to the claw. So the way I crafted this claw is I bought a fractured base. I didn't want to pay the horrendous costs for fractured Imperial claws that were T1 attack speed. So I found this one for 22% attack speed on a Noble Claw. They're pretty much the same as Imperial, other than slightly less physical damage and a tiny bit less life on hit. I think it's 4 life on hit difference. It just made sense. I think I paid 80 or 90 cows for this, and the equivalent Imperial was like 2 to 3 divines. And then came the expensive part. I bought Deafening Essences of Wrath in bulk. They were like 18 to 20 for a Divine Orb. I ended up going through 2 lots, and I was basically just spamming it until I got either a tier 1 or a T2 roll of another element. And then I needed to look at what else I had on the item. The item actually had these 6 mods on it. It had my fractured attack speed, fire damage, lightning damage, an open suffix, and then it had mana, and it had intelligence. So what I did then is the mana intelligence I can remove because my attack speed can't be removed. My fire and lightning are both attack mods. So this could have been costly, but I got quite lucky. So for 1 divine, I crafted cannot roll attack mods, and then you annul. It's either going to remove the mana, the intelligence, or if you're unlucky, it's going to remove the craft that you just put on, and then you'd have to divine it again. The reason I've done it is I looked at what would the finished claw like this would be like, and at the time, I don't know what it is now, wasn't really anything for less than like 15 divines, and I knew even with bad luck, it's going to be cheaper than that. As it turned out, I annulled both of them on the first divine. Then I used 2 divines to do 3 crafting modifiers, then crafted crit chance and pen. And I'll never need to upgrade this claw unless I really want to go big, which I don't. You won't ever need a better claw than this. And then all I'm doing now is saving up in harvest to get a the harvesting enchant to get more attack speed to boost that 22% up a little bit, and then I'm happy. So I would think the claw in total cost me five to 7 divines. I can't be exact, but way cheaper than buying it. It's just the fact that it is quite RNG crafting now. Loads of people have bought videos out about it. There's no, keep suffixes. There's nothing you can do other than gamble with annuls or, metacraft stuff like cannot roll attack mods. It's an expensive way to get rid of stuff. And obviously, it could have been that I spammed all these essences and didn't even get a usable claw, so I've then got to buy more. So you really have to weigh up, do I want to craft or do I want to just buy the end product? But be warned that end product is probably double the price of what you could craft the item for. And that's it. That's my gear. The flasks are the same. My lethal pride jewel, I actually realized I had a double damage node here. Now I was taking these nodes anyway because I wanted plenty of spare mana and it had strength and intelligence. I didn't need the strengthening. I'll drop them and took these mana nodes here because it's got double damage there and I have it somewhere else. Yeah, so double damage there. It's got increased, fizz taken as fire. And this cost me 30 chaos, I think, this jewel. But it took time. I was loading each one into POB rather than looking for specific numbers. I was just going on trade, getting a random jewel, pasting it into POB and seeing what stats I got. That's the way you're going to pick up a bargain because any of the really known big seeds are going to be really expensive if they're available. And that's kind of it. So I'm just going to run some footage in the background while I talk about the build in general and what I want to do from here. So as I don't plan on spending anything. I like to be as solo self-found as possible. It was just the fact in SSF, the crafting materials would have taken me an absolute age to gather up, especially Orbs Conflict. They're very hard to get quickly in SSF, and you might need 7 or 8 of them if your +2 craft goes awry. Now, fair enough, I probably didn't need +2 in SSF, but it's always something I want to strive for because it makes mapping feel so much better. So once I have got my void stones, I then need to think about what I want to do in terms of Atlas Tree, because this is quite nice and now it's nice and comfy. The money's ticking over, but it's probably not what I want to do for my end game farming. I'll definitely be taking both of these nodes here just because it's crazy money. And then I've got to look at what I want to do. Do I want to stick with harvest? Probably not. It's good. But if I go these 2 nodes here, am I surviving a harvest at the end of a map? Probably not. Expedition's not too bad because it's all condensed in a really quick fight. Harvest, I'm going to have 4 separate fights where at the very beginning of the fight, I'm in great risk of dying. Thinking about dropping the shrine nodes, as good as they are, I don't really need them anymore. They're a good little boost early on, but I don't think I need the damage from them, and that would free up a lot of points. I'm probably going to do something that, can maybe try a Wandering Path one, or maybe do a Grand Designs just to really stack up like pack size and stuff if we're doing Expedition and stuff like that. No idea yet, though. For now, this tree suits me absolutely fine. But yeah, next node is probably going to be get Wrath of the Cosmos, Eldritch Gaze. If I do go that way, actually, I probably will keep altars. They're going to probably save me more times than they won't. That's it for this video. Going to be streaming over the weekend a couple of evenings because I've got some free time. Don't know what the next video is going to be, whether it's going to be a final Lightning Strike update or maybe the beginning of another build. I'm not sure yet. But as always, thank you very much for watching. Take care and see you in the next one.